Welcome back. You're watching the late night news. Our big national story tonight. A plea to defer the verdict on the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid title suit has been rejected by the Allahabad High Court. This means that the verdict in the 60-year case will be pronounced on the 24th of September. The court will decide the day on which the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid land, who does it exactly belong to. It will also clear up the issue of whether or not a masjid was built after demolishing a temple at the site. This has been one of India's most divisive and sensitive disputes. A defendant had pleaded that the verdict be deferred on the grounds that it would result in a breakdown of law and order. If the court had granted it, the verdict could have been delayed by 6 months. The defendant has now been slapped with a fine of 10 lakh rupees. For the last 3 days, Andhra Pradesh lawyers have been out on the streets protesting against unbalanced representation of jobs in courts. In the latest development, Justice C.V. Nagarjuna Reddy of the AP High Court has reportedly sent in his resignation to the President of India in protest against the incidents of the last 3 days when Telangana advocates obstructed work. No justice has been dispensed in any court in the Telangana region for 3 days now. Lawyers belonging to the region say they want 42% of all jobs in the courts in the region, while the government says the quota is already in place. The lawyers claim everyone who lives in Telangana is not a native of the region. Nearly 100 courts all over Telangana have been virtually shut out, with advocates boycotting work. Well, if it was Andhra Pradesh on one side, up about in the west of India, Rajasthan lawyers are also up in arms. Now, they allege malpractices in recruitment processes. Over 14,000 lawyers in the state have been on strike for over 2 weeks now. Lawyers claim that only 37 people were called for interviews for the 36 vacancies of judges. They want a CBI probe, of course, into all these bunglings. Time for us to slip into a very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
யானக்காரனே தொப்பம்பட்டிக்கு எப்படி போறது?
நேரா இந்த ரோட்ல போனா 40 கிலோமீட்டர்ல வந்துரும்.
எப்படி சொல்றான்? இப்ப பாரு. ஏன்பா எலிபென்ட் கொளத்தூருக்கு எப்படி போறது? மறுபடியும் தும்பிக்கி தூக்குறான்.
இப்படியா போனா 19 கிலோமீட்டர். சும்மா வந்து தொந்தரவு நீ.
ஏன்பா எப்படிப்பா யானை தும்பிக்கி தூக்கி பார்த்து கரெக்ட்டா வழி சொல்ற?
தும்பிக்கியே தூக்குனா தானே பின்னாடி இருக்க போர்டு தெரியும்.
சின்ன சின்ன விஷயத்துக்கு பெருசா யோசிக்காதீங்க. யானைனா தும்பிக்கை, ஷர்ம்னா நம்பிக்கை.
Have you ever wondered what the cost of a warm hug is? Have you ever looked after someone and sent a bill for it? Have you ever made a payment to buy a moment? Have you ever asked for a price to keep a secret? Have you ever charged anyone for being a friend? Relationships rise above money. That's why IDBI Bank is saying no charges on savings and current account services. IDBI Bank, because you mean more than your money.
Welcome back. You're watching the late night news. Now, if there was a time when the women of Chennai were docile, conservative, it's only a thing of the past now. Women have reached the skies and left no arena untouched today, tearing barriers and obstacles of gender pressure. A girl from Chennai is all set to take her name into the history books of, well, the Indian Army. Take a look.
From a commoner of a BCom graduate a few years ago, the academy under officer now, to the first woman in the history of the Indian Army to be selected for the Sword of Honor, Chennai girl Divya Ajit has always been the lass with a glint in her eye. This time, she beat 244 fellow gentlemen and lady cadets to it. And mind you, with no background of army in her bloodline.
My choice was to anyway join some kind of services. It would have been the civil services if not the army. So they had that in mind that I am going to be in some kind of uniform. They didn't take it as pretty much a shock or anything. They were fine with it.
But don't let the ladies' smile deceive you. Be it academics, drills, endurance or sports, she's ensured she drums up success with every bead of sweat and dedication she's put her heart into.
I know wherever she goes, she puts her best. And she says, I want to get the best. So I think she's got it.
As the 21-year-old gets set, on her mark and ready to slap her rifle butts. When the prestigious Sword of Honor reaches her hand, she salutes the 11 months of training at her home ground, the Officers Training Academy, one that she has only words of honor for. In Chennai, Evelyn Matthew for NDTV Hindu.
Well, a Chile farmer today, in fact, attracted the government's attention by going on a lightning protest in Chennai, coming all the way from Nagapattinam, 400 kilometers away. We leave you with the visuals of that unique protest. Keep watching NDTV Hindu.
மெட்ராஸ்லேயே 120 ரூபா நான் விற்க வரல சார் சத்தியமா என் அம்மாட்ட 1000 ரூபா கடை வாங்கிட்டு ஒரு கண்ணியத்தோடு வந்து உட்கார்ந்தேன் சார்